What's going on, guys? Oh my Godzilla back here with a very exciting Godzilla review. Guys, today we are looking at every single, to date at least, Funko Pop for Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. We have all the standard sizes, we have the keychains, we have the exclusives, and we have the supersized Funko Pops. Guys, super excited to take a better look at all these with you guys. Without further ado, let's jump right in.
Oh my god!
Alrighty, guys, just so we can zoom in on the figures a little bit better, we're going to kind of break them into segments. This one's going to be kind of quick because I already did a video on all 5 of these guys. So these are the 5 standard ones. Obviously, we have in the back Godzilla and Shimo, and then Skar King, Kong with the Beast Glove, and Suko. So the 5 standards, that's what it is. That's what they look like. That's what they have on the back of the packaging, kind of as their first wave 1, along with the two supersized Funko Pops. But real quick, let's just take a quick peek one more time at each individual Funko. Alrighty, guys, obviously up first has to be the King. So we have Godzilla Evolved. So this guy does come with a breath effect piece. Taking a quick peek at that, and we'll go ahead and compare this guy to his other Godzilla, the first Godzilla that we did get from the Atomic Breath Godzilla, from Godzilla vs. Kong. So, taking a look at those 2 breath effects side by side, they are going to just be a copy-paste of the same shape. Obviously, this one has more of a translucent into a solid, and this one's just kind of more of a neutral, but it is going to be the same shape. So there's that, and then the Godzillas are obviously going to be fairly similar, yet definitely different in their poses. But, so there's kind of the side-by-side of the 2 Godzillas. I wanted to show you off that pose, or the sizing comparison. Taking a quick peek at this Godzilla. Great detail, actually. Paint on the toe claws looks great. Detail along the body is good. Got a little bit of weird pink there. Some mispaints. That's okay. The spines look pretty good. No real complaints on Godzilla. He's just very solid. These Funkos are very basic. It's kind of a chibi size. Real quick, just go ahead and showing you Godzilla. There's the bigger size, the super-sized Godzilla. And then, guys, from the last movie, Godzilla vs. Kong, the jumbo-sized Funko Pop, right there. So, obviously, this guy's much bigger. There's kind of your 1, 2, 3 lineup. 3.75, 6, and then the 10, I think, is what they call the jumbos. But there is your Godzilla Evolved. Next up, we will take a look at Kong with the Beast Glove. So, here he is. Pretty simple. Got extra scars compared to the last movie. Beast Glove looks pretty good. Nothing too crazy detailed, but it's definitely an acceptable rendition of the Beast Glove. Take a look at the back of Kong. Not a ton to say about these Funko Pops, just because they're not too crazy detailed. There's Kong standing next to the supersized Kong from this movie. Obviously, this is just going to be the exact same thing. The same figure, basically made bigger. Same pose right there. And obviously, these guys are, again, similar to Godzilla, dwarfed by the jumbo-size Funko Pops. We got our mini Kong here. That's right, it's Suko. Looks pretty good. Got the big green eyes. Got his little scar there. Nice paint and detail. It's fine. Very similar to Kong, kind of just in terms of the texture pattern of the fur. Probably very, very similar. Actually, going to be a little bit different. He's got more of the smaller hairs, whereas Kong's are kind of bigger and longer. So I am proven wrong. But there's your Suko. Just a pretty basic figure. None of these Funko Pops are articulated. So what you see is what you get. There is Suko. Moving into our villains, we have Shimo with that frostbite blast. Again, this is going to be detachable. The teeth are pretty tight in there, so it's a little harder to detach it. Just going to have a little piece up there. That fits right up in. I do like how his frostbite looks. It's got the cool purple effect, and then it's going to have kind of you can almost tell it's translucent-ish on the handle there. Like you can see this back piece kind of through the beam. So definitely kind of a cool breath effect. It really, since he's so low to the ground, it's definitely kind of a smaller breath effect. Compared to Godzilla's, a lot bigger there. And I really wish that this was in scale for the movie. I think if this was in scale, Shimo would be about that high, and then obviously much bigger. But obviously they don't do that for the Funko Pops. If we got a jumbo-sized Shimo, maybe it would, or a super-sized, a 6-inch, maybe it would size well with Godzilla. But again, not too much to say. Great detail on the scales. I really like how they look on the back, the legs. Great scaling. They painted the tail all the way to the end, so that's definitely very good. The seams are covered pretty well. Toes are painted accurately. Definitely a well done rendition of a kind of chibi Shimo. And the baddest monkey with a whip around, Skar King. So here he is. He's got his face paint. Got kind of some glazed over eyes. It'd have been cool if they were kind of closer to color to Shimo's. That would have been nice, I think. He's got the big long hands. Detailed fingers are great. Toes look good. Paint's good. The mouth looks pretty good. My only real complaint about this guy is the eyes. They definitely should have done those up a little bit better. Back of the head. Cool details on the whip slash right there. That, the jawbone handle. Very cool looking to see that. He's got his big mutton chops. There is your standard Skar King. Guys, moving into the exclusive Funko Pops. We have the Skar King on the throne, exclusive to Funko and their website. Sleeping Godzilla or Evolving Godzilla, exclusive to Amazon. And the Target Con exclusive Kong with the Beast Glove and the axe. Because a fun little note, this right here is actually so far the only piece of merchandise we have where Kong has both weapons. So that's definitely interesting to note. At this time, that is the case. Might not be the case forever, but at this time, that is definitely the case. So moving into individuals. Once again, having to start with the King. So this is the Sleeping Godzilla. I'm pretty sure it's called the Sleeping Godzilla. I've heard it also been referred to as the Evolving Godzilla. So this is kind of when Godzilla goes into the ice. He's hibernating, he's evolving. He's turning from the blue Godzilla we know and love into the pink and red evolved Godzilla. So I definitely love this figure. As I said in the video I did about him, he's so adorable. I think this guy is just amazing. I love that we get this cool fun pose. He's got the back legs kind of chunked up there, the front arms here. They did leave out the elbow spikes. That's a little disappointing. But they also left them out of the standard Funko Pop, so not to be expected on this one. Teeth look good. They're kind of adorable, just poking out over that mouth. He's still got his little glary eyes. Definitely fun. Spines look great. Pretty consistent color on them. And then the detail, again, is pretty awesome, like I said, on the regular Godzilla. So there's your Sleeping Godzilla, exclusive to the Funko website. Moving into the Target Con Kong. Again, this is the Kong with the Beast Glove and the Battle Axe. Once again, the only figure thus far in the marketing of this movie to have both weapons. Will we see Kong with both weapons in the movie? Definitely excited to find out just a couple days away from that movie, guys. So as I said with Kong, very similar thoughts on everything. Really all we have is an open mouth, which we've kind of seen before in the Godzilla vs. Kong figures. So not really nothing really new to the sculpt, except for he's got both of these weapons, but it's definitely cool to see. Last but not least of the exclusives is the Skar King on the throne. Definitely a very cool pop. I was super excited when they announced it. I am surprised, however, that he's the same size as the 3.75 inch. He was kind of expensive, and the box is larger, but so is the Sleeping Godzilla box. Both those boxes are bigger than the standard boxes, but they're not quite as big as the supersize, so that's definitely interesting. But I was thinking this guy might be a little bit bigger. It would be really cool if he was the same size as the supersize Pops, but nope, he's a 3.75 inch figure, which displaying him makes it a little easier, so that's fine. But it's definitely a cool pose. It looks very intimidating up on that throne. He's got one foot up on a skull, possibly a Kong skull or something. He's still got the whip slash there. Not a ton different to say about him, that I haven't said about the first one, aside from that super cool pose. I just love how he looks sitting on that throne. Already in our last ones to check out are going to be the supersized, along with the keychains. I figured we'd toss in the biggest with the smallest and just have some fun with it. Here he is, Godzilla Evolved Supersized Size Funko Pop. Again, very similar to the smaller one. Great paint detail. I think the teeth, everything's like teeth are painted so accurately. Tongue even has a little bit of detail on there. Top of the mouth doesn't really have much, but that's fine. Really accurately and nicely painted hand and feet claws. The sculpt again is awesome. I love the there's this effect on the tail. I wish it transitioned a little bit better, kind of into those scaly abs that Godzilla always rocks. Moving into the back of the arm. Again, they did forget Godzilla's elbow spikes. So that's definitely a little bit disappointing because that's such a cool piece of his evolution. But it's definitely fine. The spines look great. I love that they did go ahead and make the tail spines. They kind of end his little whip spines. They did go ahead and make those bigger. Scales on the back look great. I think they did an amazing job with this supersized Godzilla Funko Pop. And taking a look at the supersized Kong Funko Pop with that Beast Glove again, of course. Same, like I said, pretty much the exact same Funko Pop, just copy-pasted into a bigger sculpt. The pose on this guy is not any different than it is on the Kong. I guess the Godzilla one's pretty much exactly the same as well, minus the breath effect. But, so here's our Kong. Again, not a ton to say about him. Good detail on those, the toenails, the kind of knuckle wrinkles. Looks good. The scars are actually a little texturized. I don't know if you can tell, probably not, maybe a little bit. But they do actually dent in a little bit, so that's kind of a cool thing they added. I love the color they chose for this Kong. It's kind of like there's like a hint of like a goldish green shine coming through, especially with this light blasting around him. And it really looks like, it's cool. There's the monkey cheeks. So there's your Kong, supersized Funko Pop with the Beast Glove. Already got the camera pointed a little too close to the ground, and I'm noticing how scratched up this surface is getting, and I got the scratch back on the wall. I definitely need to replace these papers soon. But, guys, here are the keychains. Again, super tiny like they were last time, but great detail. I love how this got, the keychain last time did not have this, he did not have his atomic breath. I love how he's got like a tiny little baby atomic breath. It's super cute. And then again, pretty much the same pose. They've just used this same pose pretty much and just made it bigger or smaller based on what they need out of it. Obviously going to be less paint and detail on this guy. They did not separately paint the claws. but he's a kind of a different, he's definitely darker, like compared to the other ones. They definitely painted him in like a darker color, so that's definitely very interesting. But I love these keychains. I love that Funko does these. I love that we get Godzilla and Kong ones. So I definitely, of course, had to snag a set. There's your Godzilla Evolved, and there's your Kong, who sometimes has a difficult time standing up. And same thing with the Kong. While Godzilla was darker than his original sculpt, Kong is actually a lot lighter. So I don't really know why they chose to do that, but that is the case. Which for Kong works even less than Godzilla, because I feel like it has, you know, on this Funko Pop, you have the contrast between the dark and the light kind of on his face and head and chest and body, whereas this contrast is really just lost. There's not much contrast on the face and head or the body. There's a little bit, but way, way less. So I don't know why they made him so much lighter. Beast Club still looks fine. I like how they, you know, did a pretty good job on detail. You can see they even did the red of these wires. Got the red knuckles and the black and gray squares. Very good. Texture, a little bit, and there is still texture on that Skar. Showing out the back, not much to say there. There are the two keychains, and just in case you didn't pay enough attention at the beginning, there's the scaling for all three sizes of things that came out for this movie. Alrighty guys, that has been all of the Funko Pops for the upcoming movie Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire. We get that movie in just a couple days. I'm recording this video Monday night, so I'm seeing it on Thursday, so just very, very shortly, right around the corner, guys. But let me know your thoughts on these Funko Pops. Which one's your favorite? Do you like any of the exclusives? Do you like the giant size ones? Do you wish they were the jumbo size ones we got last year? What are your thoughts, guys? I definitely would love to know your favorite of this bunch. For me, it's hard to say. The Sleeping Godzilla is adorable. I love me a big Godzilla, so that's always fun. And that Skar King on the throne looks pretty darn intimidating. So those are definitely probably my top three out of this bunch. It is cool to see Kong wielding both weapons as well. But I just am super glad to have all these. Welcome to the collection. Super glad to have them. Guys, let me know your thoughts on these figures in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll see you in the next one.